Heyo. Whoa, what this is new. Wait, it's like this.
I point at you with 4 fingers. Because when you point with 1 finger, I've got 3 fingers pointing back at me.
Oh yeah.
But then
Where's this finger pointing?
also at you. 5. I
Oh
can
wow.
make it so it does that, right?
Yeah, I see
You
people
just
do
gotta
this.
do the thing.
They point like
Yeah.
this.
It is point at the whole hand. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've seen people do
It does
this.
that.
I've seen people do their middle finger. That one was weird.
I've seen people do pinky.
I've seen people do pinky. That one's
Mostly
a little
teachers.
weird too. Yeah, teachers. Yeah. For some reason they get trained to do that or something.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Mhm.
It's weird.
Very strange. Hey guys, welcome. Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. Welcome. So happy to be here with you guys. So happy you're here with us. And yeah, just happy. Also happy holidays everybody. Merry Christmas and happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, I guess. What's the other one? That's it. Yeah. Happy holidays, I guess.
All of those holidays.
Did you guys have a good season? Did you guys have a good...
Festivus.
Yeah, did you guys have a nice Did you guys have great festivities? It's weird because I'm in Australia, and like the UK, because they take after UK in a lot of things. They use British English a lot of times, but not everywhere. They have some American English too here, which is weird. They have sort of a mix. But anyways,
The swear words.
I don't know about that. No, because I hear a lot of people say "bloody hell." Anyways,
Oh, that.
I don't think that's a swear. It's not a swear in my book, but it might be a swear to them, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, there are all kinds of swear words that people think are swear words.
That's true.
It's really a collection of syllables.
That's true. But anyways, my point that I was going towards was they call it holiday. When you go take a vacation, they're like, "Oh, I went on holiday." And that's always been weird to me because I'm like, but it's not a holiday. It's just like in the middle of January. What's the holiday? And they're like, "Oh, I went on holiday." Like, what does that mean? You can't go on a holiday that doesn't exist. There has to be a holiday. You went on vacation, sir. But anyways, it's just kind of funny.
The point is communication, right? Like that's like as long as you know what they're talking about,
yeah,
that's what really
absolutely.
matters, right? So
but to be honest, the very first probably like 2 or 3 times I heard it, I had no idea what it meant to go on holiday, because and that was when I was younger. That was when I was like 15 probably. But eventually, when I learned, I was like, okay, so I know what they're saying when they say they're going on holiday. Actually, it might have been like 20 by the first time I actually heard it. But anyways, yeah. Nevertheless.
They're going on vacation.
They're going on vacation, yep. Which is, I mean, it's the same thing to them. So, same word. Just,
vacation, holiday. It's,
Yeah, to say this, but I'm not using vacation. I'll always say holiday. You could totally say holiday. I'm not saying that you guys are wrong. I'm just saying what my experience was when I first heard it. And I was just like, what are you talking about?
What are you doing?
Yeah, you guys can go on holiday. Of course you can.
You absolutely can. You can go on all the holidays you want.
Well, you can. You can. So that's something you can do. I'm not saying that it's something you should do, though. Because you shouldn't necessarily go on all the holidays you want, because then you're going to be homeless. Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not homeless, I'm on holiday.
But, if you spend, like, it gets boring if you are always on holiday.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Or if you're always on vacation or whatever. See, in America, we have holiday vacations.
Yeah,
which are vacations that span over a holiday.
Right. Yep. So I have allergies going on, so you're gonna hear me sniffling and sneezing a lot. But yeah.
Well, Discord will filter out some of it.
That's true. That is actually true. So, yeah, as Nyan said, in Australia or the UK and so on, what we call a holiday is called a public holiday to them. So, for example, Christmas is a public holiday, as opposed to a individual's holiday, which would be celebrated only by themselves. Interesting.
And they
I
go
didn't
somewhere.
really think about that.
Or maybe they don't. Do you have to go somewhere to go on holiday, or can it be like, because we have vacations and we have staycations, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's true. Yeah. Well, I honestly, staycations are my favorite.
I like staycations too. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're so like they're so less. They're very less stressful.
Oh yeah, it's like if you're going on vacation to de-stress, please don't go somewhere.
Well,
unless
I
that
guess
place
it
is
depends.
peaceful.
If you're going somewhere and like it depends on who you're going with as well, because there are some people who are like vacation Nazis and they have like like they have itineraries planned and they have everything planned down to the second, and it's like, we're gonna go here and we're gonna visit this and then we're gonna visit this and we're gonna visit this and you better stay on schedule and get up and get going. We gotta get there.
And
blah,
the whole
blah, blah,
time
blah, blah.
you're stressed out because they are
this.
stressing out.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Yeah. Those are rough. Those are rough. And it's usually teachers, man. I'm kidding.
They're used to doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what they do all day in class, right?
Yeah. Hey, cats. Welcome. Oh, bummer. You left your keys at a restaurant. Hope you got them back.
Did you go get them? Or
also,
are they still there?
Swilk.
If they're still there, let me know what the restaurant is. I'll go get them.
Swilk, thank you for the Christmas present. That was lovely. You're such a good artist, and I love to see more from you. It was so cool.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to make it my PFP.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Nice. But yeah, Joe, come on over. Awesome. Yeah, well. There you go. There's your invite. Hey.
I might be a vampire.
I was about to say that.
Me in.
I was about to say that. I was like, there's your invite. There you go, man. You finally made it. You can go to another house because you're like a vampire, I guess.
Hey.
We just invented lore.
Joe lore. Great. Joe actually might be a vampire. Maybe.
Yeah. So we have
maybe
Lab, which is vacation you take for yourself and decide when you take it. And decide when you take it. And Ferien? I don't know. Because that's German.
German.
There we go. Now I said it right. No, none of these have in it. I don't see any letters. Joe?
Wasn't R? Isn't the
No, that's French. French is the one that does the R.
Oh, I'm messing up.
Yeah. That's all good.
Sorry.
Which is kind of pre-decided school vacations and Feriet. Wow, now I'm speaking French. Anyways, Feritage, which translates to celebrated days. Awesome.
Forgive us for butchering your language. I am so sorry, Riku.
Feiertage.
I love you.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you, Riku. I wish I could speak any bit of German to say those words to begin with.
Well, you're of German heritage.
I am.
So you should know this stuff.
I know a little bit of German, like was ist das? And like, what is that? That's probably mostly English. I know German English. I know, let me think here. I don't even know, that might even be French. Mein Hut it has Trajaken. There we go. My hat has 3 corners. Or angles, actually, because Aken is, I believe, angles.
Your head?
My hat. Mein Hut.
Oh, your hat.
Mein Hut. Yeah, mein Hut. Yeah, and let's see. That's. I know a few more. If you give me enough time, I'll think of them, but we're not going to waste time. And they're not all songs. They're not all songs. I know that who is I can't even speak this. What is?
Oh my gosh! Look at all this German in the chat,
das.
man. Oh my gosh!
Oh, I see. Das. Was
Everybody.
ist das? There we go. Yeah, you're right. Was ist das? Not das. That's true. You got it right, J-Ho.
Oh man.
Mein Kampf. Why? Yes, that's my name. I can do, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm trying to think back on the German I know, and I have like little segments of like little parts of words, but no full words. So that's a little bit hard. Yeah. Anyways, welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday.
I mean, we look at German and we're like, hey, it's messed up, but English is the most messed up language of all.
Oh, it is by far the most messed up, other than France. Other than French.
It's such a mishmash of everything, and so it's like, hey.
French is messed up, the most messed up language, because it invaded ours and made ours messed up even more. And so they're the cause of our messed up language. So I blame it on them. So also their language is crazy because it's like you have to go through the government to create new words. Yeah. It's okay, I can teach you, and then we do. It's not like I like you in German version. Oh man, that'd be wild.
What do you mean Zay is offended?
Français.
I mean, is Zay not? Is he ever not offended?
Zay, are you offended right now? Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday, the show where we talk about offense. We talk about when other people offend us. The show where we talk about whatever issues we're going through, problems we need solving. And places in our life where we need a little bit of extra perspective and wisdom. Just to add in, we aren't professional psychologists, psychiatrists, police officers, firemen, trapeze artists, or anything along those lines. But we can give you our friendship, we can give you our time, we can give you our own life experience and share with you different things that we think. Yeah, if you have a topic, you can go to don'tworrywednesday.com and submit a topic right there. Very simple, don'tworrywednesday.com. And yeah, we'd be happy, more than happy to cover it. And with that said, I think we should probably start the show.
Yes. Oh,
I'm not
thank you,
offended.
Meow.
Don't listen to cats. Zay, are you offended that you were called offended? Let's be honest. Were you offended that Kat said that you were offended? Because I would be.
Oh, look at this.
I would be offended if someone said I was offended when I wasn't offended. Then I would be offended.
Hey, keep talking.
Okay.
We got a new topic just now.
Oh, fantastic.
This just in. Let's write it out. New topic. I'll process it while Ryan does his monologue.
Hey, Meowlido. Welcome. Nice to see you here. Thanks for putting that down in the chat for everybody. They can click on that link. If you guys want to go to don'tworrywednesday.com and submit a topic, you can go ahead and click on that link. It may be possible that there is a percentage change that I have become offended. Yeah. Say, that's how I would feel. I'd be about 0.004% offended. If someone said I was offended about something I wasn't offended about. Do you have a lid for your cup, Ryan? Yes. It's a bunny. It's that cute. And it goes like that. It's really kind of gets suctiony sometimes. It's to keep bugs out and the temperature and vapors in. It's very nice. That lid is so fancy. Yeah, it's cute. We have 3 of them of different colors, and you can, and these little bunny things you can swap out. You can pull them out of this thing, and then change out the colors for different hats or tops or whatever you want to call that. They've got kitty ones if you're interested in kitties instead of bunnies, if I remember correctly. And they might have other ones. Who knows? They might have pandas or Moogles from Final Fantasy, or Muggles from Harry Potter. Or muggins. Whatever muggins are.
What is a muggin?
What's a muggin? And Can anyone tell me what a
What is a
muggin
muggin?
is? Is there cheese? I'm not sure. What's a muggin?
Cheese.
Muggin.
Topic processed.
What is a muggin?
Yes, muggles were humans in Harry Potter, non-magic folk.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Without wizard blood. They had no, and yes, well, and, you know, there were very few pure blood wizards left.
Which, okay, never mind. I was just about to go, okay, Harry Potter has so much to explain for itself. Like,
what is it going to explain itself
no,
to
it's
you?
not. It's never going to. They're just gonna be like, it's magic. It's like, what's the explanation for this? It's like, it's magic. It's like, that's not. I want the explanation. I want a scientific explanation for this magic you're doing, and why there are people who are wizards and people who are not, and like, what, why, where did that come from? How did that come into like, spawn into the? Sorry. I like those kinds of details, and I find them important. I guess that's what makes me a different kind of writer, and why I don't write very many books.
It just is the way it is in that universe.
I don't like
Ryan.
that. I like
Nobody
it when
said
it's
you
like
had
that's
to like
the way
the universe.
I like it when it's like this is the way
I don't
the
like
physics.
the universe we live in most of the time.
I like it
There's
when
stuff that I don't
there's
like about it.
I like it when there's a universe and people are like, these are the physics of this universe, and that explains everything else. And I'm like, perfect, thank you. It's okay if you change the law of physics, and like that's one of the reasons why things work differently. I like that. I just like, yeah, that's just Harry Potter doesn't do that. They're not saying it's a different physics engine. They're just like, everything's normal except for there's this secret society of wizards that we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Explain
And they all
it.
go to platform 9 3/4.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And Ron always says, "It's brilliant. I was brilliant.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. Oh, brilliant." Oh, that was brilliant, Hermione. Anyways, he's getting more and more of a lisp as I go on. I don't know why. Ron was a fantastic character, both in the book and the show. I don't know why I gave him a lisp. I'm sorry. Muggins, a foolish and gullible person. Oh, another kind of person. Okay. Often used humorously to refer to oneself. Chicken muggins.
Chicken. It's like in the movie Elf, the Christmas movie Elf. It's like, let's face it, I'm a cotton-headed ninny muggins.
That's where the word came from. I recently watched that.
Mm-hmm.
Mini muggin.
The second most funny part of any movie ever is in that movie.
What's that?
It's in that movie. You have to have my sense of humor.
I wouldn't know, though. I'd have to watch it with you and watch your expressions the whole time. And then it's going to happen. You're like, I've seen that part so many times it didn't make me laugh. But that's it right there.
No, I still laugh every time.
Oh, okay.
I've seen the movie. When my kids were growing up, we watched that movie like every year when we were still all like together and everything. And like every year we'd watch Elf every year. And I would still, at that moment, I would laugh hysterically like an idiot. It was great.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Nice.
Because it's hilarious. Just like the funniest part of any movie ever in the history of mankind is in Angry Birds 2. And I still laugh hysterically anytime I see that.
Wow. Dang.
Again, you have to have the Joe sense of humor.
Is it, what do you call that? Oh, it's stupid, what's Three Stooges, there we go. Is it like Three Stooges kind of humor?
No.
No? Okay, so it's not like someone fell. And
It's
that
bathroom
was funny.
humor.
Oh, it's bathroom humor. Oh gosh. Okay.
The elf one is not bathroom humor.
Oh, okay, because there is a scene in the bathroom where he sings with a girl, and it's kind of inappropriate because she's in the
No,
shower.
that's not the funniest part.
Oh, okay. Like I can just see you laughing so hard at there. Like, what? Joe is weird. Joe is kind of creepy.
We all knew this though. I'm a
Hmm.
vampire,
Oh,
right? You
okay.
invite me to your house. Hey,
Things are gonna get funny. It's
Hey,
in a weird way. Nice. Well, how we do a topic? I think we'll do that
yeah,
now. So
let's do.
we've got. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna reload this because I know that we've gotten several.
Yeah, we got some topics.
Wow.
Got a list now.
Well, a lot of them are from Yozua, but Yozua, are you here?
I would accept that invitation, Riku.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do we have an August or a Moonlit? We have a Moonlit, and there's also a New Year's resolution one. This one is anonymous, right? New Year's resolution.
House IRL. Oh boy, is it? Am I gonna get in trouble? Is this like a bait? And like
A bait and switch?
something?
You're gonna get changed for cats from now on? Am I gonna be doing Don't Worry Wednesday from cats? With cats, I mean. Hey, Ellie. It's been a while since I tuned in. Good to see you guys. Hey, nice to see you too, Ellie.
Welcome.
Awesome.
Welcome to what we are calling a show today.
Yeah, what's deranged into whatever this is. But we are going to do a topic. Are going to do one. Oh my gosh, to say. I'm so sorry. Let's do it. Moonlit.
I love hanging out with you guys.
Moonlit, you
what
are
we doing?
Here. We're gonna do Moonlit.
Moonlit's topic. All right, yeah. Perfect.
Unless, yeah, I don't see August in the chat. August, if you are here,
August said that they can't be here. They popped in like at the beginning and said I won't be in today. But happy Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Well, since they want to be here for their topic, we'll skip over that one for now. We'll just go straight to Moonlit. Moonlit, this is from you.
Skibbity bop bop skibbity, yeah.
It's titled Spotify Playlist. I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting this on the page for you guys on the stream. There we go. Whoop. Here you are. So here we go. Here's the topic. It's from Moonlit. It's titled Spotify Playlist. Feel free to read along if you desire. Otherwise, close your eyes. Don't crash your car. This reads as follows. So recently I got Spotify, but I'm only now just adding songs to it. So apart from the obvious ones, such as Criminal Idol and stuff, is there any process you could share with getting songs you like on a playlist? Also open to suggestions. Okay, any process you could share with getting songs you like on a playlist. Okay, perfect. So this one is not a heavy hitter, which is nice. We can start the show off with something lighthearted. And yeah, I guess here's the thing right off the bat. I don't use Spotify that often, almost never. But I know someone who uses it all the time. So I'm gonna just straight away give it over to him. Joe, what do you got for this?
I'm not ready yet.
He's not ready yet. Okay, let me take some. Let me add some time.
I'm just
kidding. Okay,
I'm totally kidding.
All right, good.
What the heck, man? They put an ad up in front of me. Oh, okay. So I just opened Spotify on my phone. So okay, I have lots of Spotify playlists that I make on my own. Now the question, Moonlit, I would have for you is: you have a premium account or a free account? Because I'm not exactly sure how this works on a free account. But I have Spotify Premium, and I can make unlimited playlists. I can just make my own playlists all the time. And okay, premium for 3 months. Yeah, so you'll be able to make what's your recommended playlist? Oh, Riku, you couldn't post the link because you're not a mod. Hey, if you want to send it to me in DMs on Discord, I'll put it in the chat. That would be good. So Just ways to sort through what to listen to. Yeah. So I have lots of different playlists. Let me copy this link and paste it like I said I would real quick.
Super Neon Blue says, I'm wondering if they mean how to get songs they like on a curated Spotify playlist or just how to find songs they like to put on their own playlist. I'm guessing it's the second one, but you can clarify if you would like, Winlet.
Yeah, and
both really.
Okay, so to have stuff on a curated Spotify playlist, that I'm not exactly sure about. I know a little bit as far as, from an artist perspective, when we release stuff with our distributors, like you can ask them to submit whatever song it is to the Spotify playlist curators so that they can then listen to it and, figure out where it would fit in a playlist and then group it in there with whatever. So those are things that there are also people who have popular playlists. They're like private people, not Spotify affiliated people that have pretty popular playlists that you can reach out to directly and, ask them to put stuff on playlists for you or whatever. But yeah, as far as making a playlist for yourself, I think I'm not exactly sure how to do it on my phone. I usually do this on my computer. But if I go to playlists, yeah, so if I go to my library, so I open it up and I go down to the bottom, there's a thing that says your library down there. And I hit that, and then up at the top, there's a little plus sign, and I hit that little plus sign, and it says I can build a playlist, and then I call it whatever I want. And apparently I have 18 playlists because this is my playlist number 19 is what it's coming up as the name. So I have
auto-generated as Tertungula.
Yes.
That's a good playlist name, guys. That's a good one. Tertungula.
Yes. So I have like 3 different workout playlists for what I'm feeling when I work out, like I have a playlist for songs I want to cover so they're easy to listen to and practice along with. I have playlists for like drumming. I have, and then when I come across a Spotify playlist that I like, I'll listen, I'll save it to my playlists list so like it pops up when I go to my library and hit playlists, all the ones that I've saved. I've got like funky, heavy, bluesy, instrumental funk, because I like funk. Ooh, gypsy jazz.
Heck yeah.
That's a fun one. I haven't listened to that one in a while. And then you can share them with your friends and everything, like Riku did in the chat here. So like you can share your playlist with people. Riku's shared a few with me. They're really good. Hey, you sent me another link. I'll post that one too. Did you send it to me to post it? Because I'm going to. And yes, Cats has good. DJ is a cool function. Gives you songs to listen to, plus plus songs that people similar to you listen to. And I don't know. There's all kinds of great stuff that you can do in Spotify, which is just awesome. You can basically have Spotify make a radio station from any song that you are listening to at any point in time. So like if you're listening to it, you can just say, play that song's radio, and it'll play other songs that are similar to that. So, and I'm not sure. I mean, sometimes they nail it. Sometimes they don't. One of my favorite playlists, though, is the Discover Weekly playlist. I think it's still called that. Yeah, Discover Weekly. They make it for you every week, and it's based on the stuff that you've listened to the most that week. And so like sometimes, so it'll be weird because some weeks it'll be like all this like thrash metal, like crazy, hardcore metal stuff. And then the next week it'll be like light
Lo-fi.
jazz. Because I listen to, but never ever ever have I ever had country.
then it's doing it correctly.
It's
because you don't listen to country, Joe. I know you don't.
That's right. I have to now because like we've got people that are country singers that want to work with us, and so now I have to like, learn how to play that type of stuff.
How to listen to it, and then know. Yeah.
Yep.
Know what to do with it.
Yeah. So it's pretty wild, but yeah, you got some great advice in the chat here too. So yeah, but as far as getting stuff on a Spotify curated playlist, that's really up to them. And I've never seen that available to just a user of Spotify. I've seen it available to someone who's distributing music to Spotify. And you have to like set it for release. You have to give them a certain amount of time. So yeah, I think used to be you had to give an extra week before your release date so that they would have a chance to listen to it and categorize it and put it on a playlist or whatever, or decide if they want to put it on a playlist of some type or whatever. But yeah.
Joe, your background looks amazing, by the way. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying new backgrounds.
I really like it.
I like that one too. I had to go urban.
It's cool.
Cats, you're
yeah, he
so
does.
sweet.
Joe looks amazing
Thank you.
today. Look at that guy. Dang. I love it.
All right.
What?
Riku, thank you. Oh,
See?
You guys are so nice to me. Thank you. I need a cheese
background. It just cans the cheese. I love it.
That's what I'll do. Oh, I'm going to get a green screen and I'm going to put it back there. And then I'm going to like make a video of me just like squeeze cheese on a cracker and make it super huge. Ritz.
I knew it. I was going to say, is it Ritz?
Or maybe
Ritz is probably the best for squeeze
maybe
cheese.
a Frito.
Oh, I've never had squeeze cheese on Frito.
Or a piece of bacon. Or a bowl of macaroni and cheese. Or an ice cream cone. Or
combos.
Mm-hmm. And I'll put that behind me. And so then I'll have a video going of squeeze cheese just
or a Snickers
all
bar.
the time. It'll be like super duper distracting.
Yeah, it would be. It would be very distracting. And then when I turned it to my camera, people were like, hey, I was watching that. Put it back.
Squeeze cheese is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Moonlit, I don't know, that's kind of the basics. Are there any other questions you have about that? I mean, it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple, and before you know it, you can have a whole bunch of playlists for all kinds of different applications. I have one that I called Bike Work. And it was specifically for when I was doing inspections and I was processing inspections and I was riding an exercise bike at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That was the playlist for when I was doing that. It's very, very specific.
Wow. That's incredibly specific. I haven't done much with Spotify, but when I was on Spotify one time, I'm not sure, you guys can confirm whether this is possible for you guys or not, but when I was on Spotify, I saw there was a button that showed me all of the different playlists that my music was in, or one particular song was in. So I clicked on my song and it showed me all the playlists it was in. And then I could click on the different playlists and find music that was, that people liked as well. So that might be available to you too, Moonlit. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's for artists only. Okay, bummer. Because I was gonna say that might be a good way to discover new music, because then you can find what random people have that also like my music like. But if that's not possible for you guys, then oh well. See, the only thing I've experienced with Spotify is this thing that it's not available for you guys, so that's super unrelatable. Sorry about that. I don't really use Spotify because I don't usually really listen to music very much. And if I do, it's usually just on YouTube. So I'm a trader like that. Yep.
That's the Bike Work playlist.
There you go.
is the link is now in the chat. You'll find that it's a bunch of video game songs.
Ooh.
There's only 9 songs on it, and I would just repeat it. And it's these guys that do video game songs they did like actual covers.
Yeah.
They were in a band with instruments, and they did all these video game covers.
Yeah. That's I've heard a couple of bands that do that. That's really cool. It's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So you start with the Mega Man 2 intro.
Yeah, I was like, it's got to be Mega
Super
Man.
Mario 3, then you got Castlevania.
Oh, nice, Castlevania.
That's Earthbound, great. Street Fighter 2, Legend of Zelda.
Nice.
You got
whole gamut.
Yep.
Of all the classics.
It's fun.
I love that.
Yeah, they did a really good job. It's all mostly done by one group.
Castlevania was mentioned.
The theme from Castlevania 3 or Dracula's Curse, I think, is the name of the song.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Or wait, no. That's the name of the game.
Oh. Yeah, I remember listening to
that was a really rad cover, actually. That was really sweet. They did such a good job on that song.
All right, Meow. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy it. I hope it's yummy. You have to tell me what it is. Because I want to know. If you don't tell me...
I like dinner.
I'll be sad.
Put squeezed cheese on your dinner if you can.
Put squeezed cheese on your dinner? Whatever it is. We don't know what it is. It's like literally like chicken noodle soup or something. And then this cheese is just going to... Well, I put Parmesan cheese in my chicken noodle soup, so it's good. Yeah, J-Ho, I don't really listen to music. I don't partake in that drug. No,
I'm a dealer of that drug.
Yeah, I'm a dealer. I don't partake.
I'm manufacturing and
yeah, that's right. No, quite honestly, yeah, I just listen to white noise. That's right, because I'm static. I listen to just static sounds like that white noise on the TV. I don't know. I have a really weird relationship with music, I guess, and it's very different than most people, especially because I'm a musician. And so it's really weird that I'm not passionate about music in the way that everybody else is. But yeah, I love the silence. I like it just to be quiet sometimes. And yeah, it's great. Anyways, I can talk to you more about that another day. This is about you guys, not about me. So let's move on. Honestly, Moonlit, I'm sorry I don't have much to add, but hopefully that was helpful. I know that you said that we about covered it, so that's good. I hope that was satisfactory. And I'm going to move on to the next one if that's all right.
Go ahead and thank you for the topic, Moonlit.
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully that was helpful.
Thank you for the topic, honestly. I mean, literally.
And you have some new playlists you can listen to.
It's funny because we're not professional psychologists or whatever, but we are professional musics and we are in the industry of putting things on Spotify. So I guess you asked the right people this time. It is our profession for once.
Nihilus had this has an app, stats.fm and Swipify.
Okay.
Takes your Spotify data, shows you similar recommendations you might like. I like that idea.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm very too specific on the songs that I like. Like, usually I'll hear an artist and I like 1 or 2 of their entire songs that they've made, and they've made like 50. And that's the way it is for me. Like, I don't like most things enough to listen to it more than once. Like, I like them enough to go, well, I liked that, but never enough to go like, I want to listen to that again. You know, it's very rare that I ever want to listen to something more than one time. And really? Most of the time I'm like a tenth of the way through the song and I'm like, I'm done with this. I don't want to sit here and listen to the rest of this. This is wasting my time. This is wasting my ear space and my head space. I just want to get this over with. Do I have to listen to this? Yeah, that's the way. That's kind of the way I am with music sometimes.
Unless it's power metal.
If it's power metal, I'll give it a chance. But I'll tell you, I don't like 90% or more of power metal. There just happens to be enough songs in the genre that I'm like, okay, this is probably my favorite genre. Awesome. Yeah, thank you once again, Moonlit. Thank you for the topic. So I'm going to go ahead and do this next one. It's the bottom one on the list. This is New Year's resolutions. Posted, I'm guessing by anonymous. I don't have a name here. So I'm just going to assume that it's anonymous. I'm going to go ahead and get that put up on the screen for you guys here. There you are.
Which one is this?
New Year's resolutions.
The New Year's resolution.
Yeah. Feel free to read along. It's a short one. It reads as follows. New Year's resolutions that are last year's and being thrown into the void. Wow. I'm going to read that again. New Year's resolutions that are last year's and being thrown into the void. This is a topic without a whole lot of context sewn in, but with enough to go, yeah, okay, I think I get the gist. Yeah. I think
I get the idea of it too.
You know, it reminds me of like when I go, or when anybody goes to see like a priest to confess, and it's just like the same confessions, and the priest is like, same ones? You're like, yep. And they're like, all right, yeah. You know, one of these days, maybe you'll get past this. And, you know, that does happen. But, yeah, it's one of those things. Our downfalls tend to be our downfalls, you know, in such a way that they just continue to be there over and over and over. And so when you're making a New Year's resolution, usually it has something to do with trying to get better as a person. And usually that means it's going to be a bit difficult. So I love that we have this topic. I think this topic is perfectly timely. New Year's is coming up. It's right around the corner. And this is a great time to talk about it. I have personally never made a New Year's resolution, surprisingly, that I remember. I might have, but I don't remember ever making a New Year's resolution, which is, I guess, out of the norm. But I suppose my view on that is, why wait till the new year to make a resolution? You should make a resolution as soon as you find a problem in yourself. But then again, that's not so easy. That's not easy either, rather, I should say. It's never really easy. So, yeah, Joe, if you don't mind, I'm going to throw it at you and see what you've got for this. I'm excited to see what you've got. I know there's a lot to talk about here, so I'm going to give it over to you.
Well, I appreciate that, Ryan. I appreciate the topic enough. And I have fallen into this trap of, you know, the New Year's resolution void of like recurring New Year's resolutions year after year after year. I'm going to do this year, and then I do it for like a few months, and then it falls off, and then, you know,
a few months, that's impressive.
It's the reason why you get a gym membership, right? And the gym is packed and throughout the months of January and part of February. And then after that, it's empty again. Because everybody's got their New Year's resolutions. And a lot of people are like, oh, I need to lose some weight, or oh, I need to get in better shape, or whatever, blah, 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 right? And so it's part of it. But there could be business goals. There could be all kinds of stuff. There could be, you know, like other types of changes. You know, it could be whatever, you know. People make all kinds of resolutions all the time. And then do we stick with them? I don't know. It depends. Once my New Year's resolution to eat a whole can of squeezed cheese once a week, every week. Nah, I'm not highballing that much. Squeezed cheese is expensive, man.
Highballing. They call it Ritz for a reason. You put on Ritz crackers. It's right. A little bit too Ritzy.
And J-Ho, you had said that New Year's resolutions are rubbish. Rubbish. I think a lot of times they end up being rubbish, but I like the idea of setting a goal for yourself and running after it, whether you fail at it or not, right? And it could be New Year's, or like Ryan was talking about, it could just be anytime. Anytime you notice something that needs to change and you're like, I need to make this change. But a lot of times, you know, I mean, because it's a new year, there's a whole new year ahead of you. And it's like, hey, you know, I got this goal to do this year. You know, we're in business. And so a lot of things run in quarters. And so we can set quarterly resolutions or goals or whatever, right? And so Like there's nothing saying that it has to be New Year's. And there's nothing saying that you have to do it at all.
That's true. Fair enough.
You know? But hey, I've had the same New Year's resolution before, multiple years in a row. I think that's a human thing. And it's okay. Like Ryan was talking about, like what did you say, Ryan, about, with the whole priest thing?
Oh yeah, going to confession and
going to confession,
saying the same confession every time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was it?
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
we get caught in these patterns, right?
Yeah.
Like we're people, and we get caught in patterns, and we set things for ourselves, and sometimes we set them too high. I remember, like Jeff, one of our board members at BSS, he and I can tell you so many times, before he was part of BSS, we had ran after business goals together, and all kinds of stuff. And we would set goals. We sat down at coffee places or McDonald's or whatever, we'd sit down, we'd have a meeting, and we're like, okay, this is the goal we're going to set. And then we'd set the goal and we wouldn't hit it. And it's like, okay, well, let's lower the goal a little bit so then maybe we can hit it. And then it's like, okay, finally we got to the point where we were like setting a goal to like get out of bed in the morning.
Like, oh man.
It's like we were like, we got to build momentum off something. And so like we'd set our goal like super duper low. And like, yeah. But the thing about resolutions is it's okay. You don't have to beat yourself up when you don't follow through on your New Year's resolution. Most people don't. And I know, well, I don't want to be like most people. Me neither. But I'm still a human. And, you keep changing stuff, Ryan.
I'm doing it. Just let me.
I can see it out of the corner of my eye. Like,
don't you be using that corner of your eye. For some reason my popped out chat doesn't let me type in it anymore. I can't say anything.
Oh,
it lets me type in it, but when I press enter, it doesn't do anything. And I'm like, how do I fix this? So I'm pressing all kinds of buttons and it just isn't working.
Try switching instead of where it says top chat. Did you pop it out?
What?
Did you pop out the chat?
The chat is popped out. That's what broke on me.
And there's top chat, and then you can switch that to live chat. I've had that work for me before. If I switch top chat to live chat.
All right. Wait.
And it works.
Aha! Thank you. Wow, that was weird.
Yeah. I know, it is weird. Yep.
I wonder how that got.
So yeah, so we got some stuff in the chat. Hey Riku, you're gonna come work for us. Hey.
Yeah, that's why I said I'd like that. As I was trying to respond to, but
yeah.
We would all like that. We just don't have the funds to give.
We want to be able to, but we want to be able to pay our staff adequately too.
That's the important part. We would have
bring on more staff too.
We would have pretty huge staff if everyone who invited themselves to be in part of BSS was a part of BSS. We'd have a pretty huge staff.
Or we said that we wanted them to work with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or all the people we've said like, yeah, we want them to work with us. Yeah.
Yes.
We'd have a huge staff, but it's just like we don't have any money to give anybody, so it's like we'll get there. There.
It'd be all volunteer at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
We've got a few employees.
Wolfrix,
if you want to call it that, but that's.
I like it, Wolfrix. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. But if you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're not making an adjustment, yes, that's insane. But just because you set the same goal again and again, that doesn't make you insane. You have to set your goal, and when you don't hit the goal, it's like, okay, then you look at it and see what you need to fix and change and do differently in there in order to try again and hit it, right? But if you keep trying the same exact thing over and over again and expect something different to happen, then yeah, it's you're not gonna go anywhere, and it's gonna be really, really hard. It's gonna be really painful for you. But I'm with Ryan. I'm saying, hey, why wait till New Year's? I found sometimes the best I ever do on a New Year's resolution is when I start the resolution the week before or the week after New Year's. Just because I'm a rebel.
Yeah.
Usually the week before, because then I ramp up a little bit, and then I'm ramped up, and then New Year's hits, and I'm like, I already got a little bit of time under my belt, and so I know I can do it. And I don't like to bite off more than I can chew, because sometimes you just set your goals way too high, and then you're overwhelmed, and you're just like, well, there's no sense in even trying because I'm never going to hit this anyway. And so, like, I'm gonna lose 1,000 pounds in January. Like, I don't even weigh 1,000 pounds, so that's impossible. I'd be minus weight.
Yeah. You would. Well, you definitely cease to exist.
Yeah. Well, they have to be realistic too, right? Like, they got to be. Somebody said smart goals. What is smart? One of those is realistic, I think, probably, or achievable is one of them.
Sure.
Yeah, J-Ho, you said smart goals. What were the what did they? What does the SMART stand for? Something.
I think it's something, and something.
Oh, you got it. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. That is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Yep. So, and that's for goal setting, right? And that's a little bit different than making a New Year's resolution, because sometimes a New Year's resolution isn't necessarily even a goal. It could just be like a lifestyle change you want to make. It could be a relationship change you need to make. There's all kinds of stuff. And you could just be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to just, starting here, I'm going to turn over a new leaf, and I'm going to act differently. Now, here's the thing. A lot of times things are habits, and they take time to change. Right? They say it takes 28 days to create a new habit, because you don't just stop an old habit. So if your New Year's resolution is to stop some sort of habit that you have, whatever it is, stopping a habit, I've found, doesn't work. I have to replace that with a new habit. And that habit could be as simple as not doing that thing. Right? But usually what I need to do is
sounds the same.
That
sounds like the same thing, but it's not.
It does, right? But like, a lot of times I have to do something else instead of that thing when I would normally be doing that thing. Even if it's just deep breathing. Right? But sometimes replacing a habit with something totally unrelated is the key, And so, so 28 days to cement in a new habit. And I find that, another week on top of that, so 35 really locks it in. And then you've got a really solid habit there, right? So, and developing a habit, it takes time. And you have to be gracious with yourself. You have to be forgiving of yourself. It's just the nature of things. And if you screw up, you don't throw the whole thing out the window. You just pick yourself up and keep trying. Right? And that's all we can do really as humans, is just try our best. And we will fail. I don't care how many people you hear that talk platitudes. I've heard so many people from stage talking all kinds of platitudes about, like, well, you should do this, and it's an issue of character if you don't. And it's like, really? No, it's a human issue, and we fail. And I'm sorry, you have failed at things too, so shut your mouth, which is going to be the title of a podcast I'm going to make. Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. I think we need a Theology Thursdays or whatever we are going to call that one now. And then also the other one, and then also yours. We've got a couple of podcasts.
We have a few that we want to do, that's for sure. But we've got other things that need to happen first, right? Like, the more things we load up on our plate, the less we're actually going to do, I think.
That is true.
So, these are great ideas, but it's like, okay, I was talking to your brother today, actually. I was talking to Kyle, and I was like, hey, you know what? Let's figure out, okay, these are things that need to happen, and this is what the order they need to happen, and we're figuring that out. So it's good.
Yeah.
But
yep.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I'm going to turn it over to Ryan.
That's a good segue to the thing I wanted to say about it, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, New Year's resolution.
That's exactly why I said it the way I said it, because I knew what
Thank you for doing that. Yeah. Well,
welcome.
So like you said, you work it out with Kyle, and then you're trying to figure out what order you should release things. We had to get this done and that done. And what the segue for that is New Year's resolutions. You know, as J-Ho was saying, the one thing I like about them is that generally there's something people have figured out. And what I mean by that is, if it's a New Year's resolution, you know the day that it's starting. So that means you have had time to plan out your I guess your journey, your plan, your goal, your what kind of activities you'll be doing and how to do it, right? So the thing I like about New Year's resolution is it isn't necessarily just all of a sudden on the spot. It's something that you've been contemplating for a while, so you should be able to come up with a good game plan for solving it. And choosing a date to start it on is fine. I think that New Year's resolutions are good, and kind of a morbid thought, but if the world was to end, I think it would be best that it would end around Christmas or New Year's, because that's when people tend to be on their best behavior. So at least mankind will have been left in a state of its best version of itself, hopefully. So in that part, I'm thankful for New Year's resolutions, although that's a bit of a weird thought. But anyways, yeah, I think New Year's resolutions are good because it gets the whole society in on the act of like self-improvement. So I think those are good things. Again, that doesn't mean I necessarily practice New Year's resolution. Like I said, usually if I discover a problem, I want to try to address it right away. It doesn't mean I always do. It doesn't mean I'm always successful. I'm human. But I'm made aware of it. I'm not going to wait till New Year's or utilize the New Year's resolution sort of, I don't even know if you want to call it a holiday or what, but thing to overcome whatever my problems are. I think, that's partially why we had to have Don't Worry Wednesday. We're here all year round, not just on New Year's, right? So I think New Year's resolutions are good. But I also think that just resolutions are good in general.
Mm-hmm.
Now, being thrown into the void, I think that, when you are experiencing the same problem over and over, year after year, it can definitely feel like it's an abyss, like it's an unconquerable void that it can really I guess make you feel a little bit depressed about yourself. And I think that's probably the perfect word for it. So what I would say about that is this. What Joe said is important. Overcoming habits requires you to create habits that will overcome them. I think that's a pretty important rule. There's a lot to do. I know Joe has a lot that he can talk about on addiction and so on and so forth that all apply. So you can feel free to listen to what Joe said again. Anything that I would add is take time specifically to be thankful and to be humble. those two things, I think, are part of the foundations for mastery when it comes to encountering that void and getting over it, getting over the void, and being able to actually get rid of your problems. Being humble and being thankful. And so what do I mean? I'm going to give you an example. It's going to be a little bit weird, but to be thankful. So let's say you're dealing with, you're doing last year's resolution, which I won't do a super hard, heavy one. I'll do a lighter one, like I guess weight. All right, let's say you're trying to get your weight down. I guess that technically would be a heavy one. Anyways, let's say you're trying to get your weight down, or you're trying to build muscle or whatever it is. And so you're like, hey, my resolution is to work hard on this. Now, thanks Rico for, anyways, so you're dealing with your weight problem, and maybe you've dealt with it. You deal with it all year round, because I mean, like, that's just a constant. It's always on you. It's a weight problem. It's always there. It's always giving you problems throughout your days. You know, it makes you feel weak. Makes you it's hard to get up. It's hard to move around athletically like you'd want to. It's tiring. You know, you're dealing with that all year round. And so your New Year's resolution is like, okay, this year I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna really get on it. I'm gonna become active in this scenario. Take a moment to be thankful for the times that you have succeeded in this realm, even if they're little achievements. Like, hey, remember that time I chose not to eat as much? Remember that time I fasted? Or remember that time that I, for a week, I exercised? Like, celebrate those achievements. Why? When you can celebrate your achievements, you're programming your brain to want to achieve more. If you achieve some and then you mess up your New Year's resolution because you miss a day or you miss a week or whatever, and that guilt sets in, and that guilt overpowers the good feeling of celebrating the success, you are going to snuff yourself out, because suddenly the idea of losing weight has become associated with this pain of guilt and self disrespect in some way. And instead of having this desire like, oh, I really want to achieve this goal because I've been celebrating it and showing myself like this is a great thing that we're doing and it feels great and it's a, blah, blah, blah. Instead, you're associating this achievement with whenever I try this, it just feels like crap. I feel like crap because I always fail. I always fail every time. And the reason and even if that's true, even if you always fail, if that's where your brain goes, it's because you trained it to. And if that's where your brain goes, you're not going to succeed, because your brain is telling you you're going to fail. And so eventually you will, because you aren't going to have the strength or the training to persevere. You're going to have trained it to be ready for the time where you fail, because you believe and you know that you will. And so when that day comes, you're going to be like, okay, I failed. I knew I would. All right, it's over. Game over. I'm not going to try anymore, because the pain and the void is too much. But if you take time and you celebrate the success, instead when you fail, you're going to be like, oh, I failed. That's okay. Get back up on my feet. Try again. Let's keep this resolution going. And let's keep on celebrating the victories. And what's going to happen in that scenario is every time you fail, you start again. Rather than every time you failing, you stop. Until next year. Right? You put it off for weeks and then you go, oh, I can't take it anymore. I'm going to try again. And then you fail again. And then you put it off for weeks and weeks. If you can program yourself to celebrate the goods, every time you fail, it's not going to stop you from getting back up, because there's no reason to stop. It's like you have a New Year's resolution. You're like, every week I'm going to do these exercises. If you don't do it for a week, there's no reason to just stop. The resolution is still a good resolution. It's worth doing, right? Obviously. So just get up and start doing it again, right? Just start doing those exercises again. right? It makes sense. It makes sense when we think about it, right? It makes sense when we think about it. But practically, when we're in the scenario, it's hard to think that way. And one of the reasons it's hard to think that way is because you've been in that void. Because you've sat there and stared at that void. And you've looked at your failures and you've made a mountain out of them. Instead of making a mountain out of your successes, right? Put your focus on the success, not your focus on the failures, and it will do you a lot of good. So be thankful. Be thankful, be thankful, be thankful. Secondly, be humble. Humble, it goes right along the same lines, but it's going to be necessary in like the core foundation of success here is being humble in the sense that recognize that, first of all, you're human, just like the rest of us. When you think, oh, I'm the only one that fails in this category and I suck, recognize that's not true. Being humble doesn't mean putting yourself below everybody else. It means recognizing your value in its correct place, and everybody else's value in its correct place, and the value of every object or every aspect of the world, right? And understanding its value and treating it as such. That's humility, right? And so when you're being humble, you recognize like, hey, I'm not the only one that fails at things. And I recognize that there's value in the success, and there's greater value in the success than there is in the failure. Because if I sit there and mull and ruminate over the failure, what value am I getting out of that? I'm throwing myself into the void. What value am I getting out of the void? The void is absent. It's the abyss. There's nothing in the void. So there's nothing to reach for. There's nothing to grab on there. That is hopelessness, right? That is hopelessness. The abyss, the void, it's hopelessness. There's nothing to hold on to. There's nothing to achieve out of that place until you get out of it. And once you get out of it, then there might be some nuggets that came to you because you spent some time there. But you have to get out of it first before you find those. Right? You have to be climbing out of that to find those. So if you find like, okay, where's the value? Right? So being humble means you have to be aware of the value of the activities you're doing, where your mind's at, etc., where other people are at, where you're at. Recognize, first of all, of course, I'm human. I'm going to fail, just like every other human. I shouldn't get down on myself. Secondly, what good is it to get down on myself in this scenario? Am I spending too much time being upset with myself because there's no value there, or I've exhausted the value that's there, right? Because there is sometimes value in being upset at yourself, right? But sometimes you can exhaust that value pretty quickly and then move on to the next stage where you're like, all right, now I'm getting back up on my feet and I'm trying again. Because the thing I want, the thing that's valuable, requires me to do these activities, not the one where I'm sulking. And it's good to sulk. It's good to have guilt, right? It's good to recognize like, hey, I've failed. It's good to be hard on yourself. It's good to have the bar high, right? But as I've said many times on the stream before, it's good to have the bar as high as you can get it, but always love yourself above that bar. When you're exercising and you're lifting a weight that's heavier than you can lift, or it's close to it, you always have a spotter, right? That spotter is your love, right? That spotter is the one that's trying to make sure you don't die. That spotter is there trying to help you when things get out of hand. That spotter is there to enact a form of love, right? And so it's kind of like the same kind of visual. So when you hold the bar high on yourself in life and say, this is what I want to achieve out of life, this is who I want to be, that's great. Keep that bar high. Don't ever lower that for anybody, especially not other people. Don't ever lower that bar. But make sure you always love yourself above that bar. That you're willing to go, when I don't reach that, I'm going to still love myself and I'm going to continue reaching for it. When I don't reach it, I'm going to understand with a sense of mercy and love and compassion that, hey, it's okay. It's okay you didn't make it. But because you had that bar high, you made it farther than you ever would have if you didn't have bar high in the first place. You know? So showing yourself that mercy, that compassion, that love is really crucial. And I think that comes from a sense of humility. You know, to recognize that you're valuable. to recognize that you're lovable just as you are. Right now, who you are right now is absolutely lovable. And you are lovely. And you need to recognize that. Before you try to go down a journey that says, oh, I'm crap, I need to improve. That's a really hard way to get something done because you're against yourself the whole time. Instead of being your friend and helping you along the journey and fighting the same enemies together, you're your enemy and you're fighting yourself with your enemies, right? It's like if you're playing, I don't know, there's thousands of examples you could give, but that, you get it. Like if you're fighting yourself the whole way through on that journey, you don't just have yourself that you're fighting, you're having the world that you're fighting too. You're having the objectives you're fighting. Everything's gonna, things are gonna go wrong from time to time. And then if you beat yourself up over that, it's like, it's not even your fault. You're just on the enemy's side while you're trying to do something good with your life. It's like, that's gonna suck. So I would say what you need to do is be your friend. Right? Be your friend. Recognize that you are valuable. Just where you're at right now, that's still valuable. Exactly where you're at. And what we want to do is take that valuable thing, which is you, which is a life, which is beautiful and will never be lived again, and will have unknown impacts across the whole world. And you might think that's impossible, but it's true. And so what you need to do is you need to look at that valuable thing you've got and foster it and aid it, help it, nurture it, and move it forward with love while continuing to hold the bar high. Rather than thinking that you're the only one that sucks, or that, other people are valuable but not me. Other people could do this but not me. It's not helpful. Those thoughts are unrealistic, actually. It's unrealistic to believe that you're the only one that can achieve success. It's actually unrealistic to even think that only a couple of people in the world actually get to have success. I'm not one of those people. It's actually unrealistic. There's no reason to think that. You are important and you're valuable. Not everyone's success is going to be different. And everybody's life is going to be different. Everybody's part in this world and this whole thing is going to be different. But each one matters. Each one is very important. And so don't count yourself out. You got to look at yourself and be like, this is the one I've got. This is the one I've got. This is the one that I get to control. I get to do this with it or whatever. And I don't even get to control it all the time because half of my thoughts aren't even my own. Like, I don't even know where they come from. And like, sometimes I betray myself and I'm like, what the heck was that? Why did you do that? Sometimes I don't control myself. Sometimes, especially like when I sleep, I don't have control over that, So it's like, and you don't even have whole control. So be thankful for the little amount of control that you have in this whole world. And then recognize that little tiny amount of control that you have in the whole world affects the whole world. From generation to generation to generation. I'm sure you guys know about the butterfly effect, and that butterfly effect is real. So don't count yourself out. Just recognize, like, this is the one I've got. This is the one I got. And I better love it. It is important. It's the only one I can change. Because, will as much as you want. Think as hard as you want. You're not going to change anybody else. You certainly can change their lives, for sure. But no matter how hard you try to control their muscles, you can't control their muscles. Right? You can't control what their opinions or their what their objectives are going to be. That's an inner battle for them. And you can influence those things, but you can't just change it on command like you can for yourself. So I'd say be thankful and be humble. And that's what's going to lead you to a successful New Year's resolution above anything else I can think of. Those two aspects. The brain isn't a muscle. Yeah, it's a bunch of fat.
You're right.
All right.
Neurons.
Neurons. By the way, I saw a lot of stuff in the chat. Thank you, Ellie. I hope that I really do hope this is helpful for you especially, and anybody else. This is helpful for me too, right? It's helpful for every one of us because it's stuff that we all deal with. stuff that, you know, we all have to make resolutions throughout the year, to decide like, hey, I need to get better at this. Even if it's just something like, hey, I need to get better at writing music, you know, you got to spend time doing that, and you got to commit, and commitment is not easy. But I guess that's one more thing, is like, if you make a habit of finishing what you start, that's a really good habit. But yeah.
It's always interesting. I hear myself say, I gotta this, I gotta that, or I hear people say that too, or I should do this. And, you know, I have a tendency to should all over myself.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, you know, like I should be doing this, I should do this, I should do this, blah, 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 blah. You know, Jeho mentioned in the chat, what even is success? And like, I don't know what it's subjective.
Right.
What's success? And what you mean, like overall successful life, or success in a moment? Like I try and find little successful moments in, you know, whatever I can, you know, I'll grab success. Like when it comes to, because I'm working to rebuild my relationship with my kids right now, you know, recently divorced, and, you know, doing co-parenting and stuff like that. And so anytime there, you know, whenever something good happens between me and my boys, I consider that a little win. Like it's a little success. And I try and, you know, internalize that and grab a hold of that, and like try and continue doing things like that, and continue that motion in that direction, because it's like, you know, then you can build success upon success. And what Ryan was saying is so important, that, you know, like when you're coming from a position of I'm garbage, and so I need to change, like that's a tough spot to dig out of. The first thing you need to change is change your view of yourself. And maybe you need a therapist to help with that. I did.
Yeah, sometimes you need someone else to reach down in the hole to help you out.
You do. Sometimes, like when you're in a pit that deep and you think that you are absolute trash. And so like, oh, but only if I changed this, then I wouldn't be trash. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. We can't prove to ourselves that we're not junk. We have to flip our perception of ourselves first.
Yeah, there's a me but better attitude about, you know, it's like I'm only deserving of other people's love if I was better in this scenario. But it always you're always going to be thinking
endless.
It's endless.
It's endless.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, there's always another thing to be done. There's always another thing, another step to be had. It's a non-satisfiable cycle. And so the first thing to do in that scenario, if you feel, if you're really struggling with self-esteem, you're really struggling with, you know, like self-image, all that kind of stuff, like that's the thing that needs to shift. We need to understand every single one of us is a person of infinite dignity. You are a person of infinite dignity, just as you are, no matter what you've accomplished, no matter what you bring to the table, no matter what anything. You're a human being, and you are absolutely 100% unique and 100% valuable and irreplaceable. And you're a treasure to this world. And that can be a really hard thing to accept about yourself. Depending on what you've been through, depending on situations you've been in, depending on all kinds of factors. You know, sometimes life can have a tendency to beat the just snot out of you. Maybe for a long time. Until you feel like you're absolute garbage. But from that position, it's hard to hold any resolution. It's hard to accomplish anything, because then you can get to the point where you're like, okay, well, if I just do this, if I just do that, you know, like then I'll be a valuable person. If I just can get myself to do this, then I'll be worth something. You know, whatever it is. The problem is it doesn't work that way. We have to flip the perception first, understand, hey, I'm starting from a position of value right now. And so that makes anything I do that much more valuable. And I can try. And if I fail, well, you know what? I can always try again. Or I can decide to try something else. But I've found that eventually, if you stay in that I'm trash mode, like I'm garbage mode, eventually what happens, you get beaten into submission by yourself or others or both, for long enough. And despair starts to set in. And then you're thinking, well, there's no point in even trying anything. There's no point in doing anything. There's no point in, setting any kind of goal. There's no point in so then sometimes it takes latching on to any little thing we can to build a little bit of momentum. And that's why I would say, sometimes it might take somebody to help you. A counselor, a therapist, a psychologist, somebody. You might need expert help. Because I know that, the therapist I had was very good. She walked me through all these stages of this despair and soul searching and all this kind of stuff. It was crazy. And we went through a lot over the course of 2 years. And her goal was to get me off her patient list. That's her goal with all of her patients. It's great, right? It's like, because she's like, because we want to make people better. We don't want to like have them in this perpetual cycle. It's like, no, we want to help people heal. And then from there, what Ryan was talking about, humility and being thankful, gratitude and humility, that's so beautiful. Because when you start from that position, oh my gosh, your resolutions will be so much more successful. And even if they're not, you're thankful. You can be thankful for the lessons you learned. So then you can try again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So anyway, I love what you were saying, Ryan. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, you too, man.
J-Ho says, so in summary, success is the outcome of an action. So everything is successful. I
think.
Okay. Well, this you did the dictionary thing. The accomplishment of an aim or purpose. There's a line between success and failure. The attainment of fame, wealth, or social status. Her success owed more to hard work than luck. Success, the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. There's a thin line between success or failure. I think it's not just just any outcome of an action. It's the desired outcome. Success would be the desired outcome. But in a way, even failures can be determined successes.
Sure.
Like the story about Thomas Edison and the light bulb. We've all heard this story. If you've been on Don't Worry Wednesday enough times, you probably heard us say it. Where he tried over 1,000 times to find the right formula for the filament and everything to make the incandescent light bulb. And he tried over 1,000 different things and failed. Right? They're like, how did it feel to fail 1,000 times? He's like, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I just succeeded in 1,000 ways to not make a light bulb. Right?
Yeah.
Edison is a sham. All right, J-Ho. Everything's a sham, though, to you.
That's true.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah. I understand.
It's totally okay. That's funny, though. But it's true. And it's good. I think, it's interesting about Thomas Edison. He didn't invent the light bulb. It doesn't mean he didn't create one, right? He didn't invent the light bulb. He marketed it. He did a fantastic job. And Thomas Edison is a huge success. Like, regardless of what anyone says, even if you've got gripe, even if you don't like the guy, you know, even if you think that his tactics were a little undercut, is that the right word? Below the belt. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he was incredibly successful because he had a mind for success. He knew how to get done what he wanted to get done, and he did a great job at it. He still invented a light bulb. He just didn't invent the first one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, you gotta. I mean, it's part of how it works.
What do we do as musicians? That's what we do as musicians.
Yeah. I don't slap the name of the guy who created the piano on everything I've done, or the first person who created the piano.
The chord progression that you used, and It's Not Like I Like You. That was a chord progression that existed that you used, and then created that song.
Yeah,
right?
And what am I supposed to do? Like say thank you to every person that's ever written a song before, because I borrowed technically intellectual property of like song design and understanding of like how music works. But anyways, yeah. However you want to frame it. Yeah, I think that Thomas Edison could have been a better role model, but then had a higher level of character. Yeah, absolutely. I think Tesla could have deserved
could everybody.
Better. But yeah, so could everybody.
Ryan. So could I, and so could you, J-Ho. We could all be better people.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Right?
We could all get better. That's why we're here. That's why this is Don't Worry We Didn't Say, and that's why we're talking about New Year's resolutions.
Exactly.
Thank you for being right on spot.
You're amazing. You're awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we could all be better. Every single one of us.
Yeah.
And there are people out there that are taking advantage of other people, and that makes me upset.
Agreed. I don't like when I see that happen. I don't think anyone, well, most of us don't like that when we see that happen. Yeah.
And we all tend to talk out of both sides of our mouths. So be careful sometimes. Because sometimes we point out one thing.
Yeah.
But in the pointing out of that one thing, we forget about this other thing, and it totally contradicts this other thing, and we believe this other thing too, but we just contradicted ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So just be very careful. I'm an idealist, and I still do that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I don't mean to do it, but I still do it, right?
Yeah. I always fall back on the line of, like, take out the plank out of your own eye before you start worrying about the splinter in someone else's. You know? It's like, that's quite true. It's like I can nitpick and be like, this person's not a very good person, they could have done this better, and it's like, that's absolutely true. But also I can't. That person's dead and gone. Like, let's focus on what I got to deal with and make sure that I'm holding up here, because I'm probably being a hypocrite right now by pointing out some of their flaws. Because usually I am. Usually I'm some little percentage of a hypocrite. I think we all are. And I think if we don't notice
it's part of being human.
Yeah, we should start.
Part of being human, and it's part of growing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. You're going to hurt. Don't. Oh, Thomas Edison in real life. You gonna?
Good luck.
You gonna dig him up?
I think he's pretty dead.
Yeah, he's pretty dead. He's got a lot of dirt between you and him.
Yeah. You got a lot of dirt between you.
You got a lot of dirt between you guys. And I mean literal dirt. Because he's 6 feet under.
Neon Blue says, credit to the structure of a song, verses and chorus. That could be attributed to the Beatles.
Wait, which?
Modern song.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if they're...
hit song. Verse, chorus, bridge, chorus.
Yeah. Yep. Verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Yep, absolutely. I don't know if they invented that. I'm sure someone did it before them, but they didn't.
I don't know if they invented it, but they made it popular.
They made it popular. Yeah. Well, technically, they didn't. The radio stations and so on made it popular. The Beatles didn't do anything except for write the songs. It was someone else
who wrote the song, and
it was people who liked it that made it popular.
They worked their butts off.
Yeah, they sure did.
In Hamburg, Germany.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying the Beatles didn't work hard, by the way. Obviously they did. I'm only making a joke that technically they didn't make it popular. It's their fans and all the people that enjoyed their songs that made it popular. So exactly. Popularity goes to them. That success goes to the fans.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Podcast for
yes,
writing.
Hello, you have been summoned. Hamburg.
Hometown. Oh, really?
That's where the Beatles put in their 10,000 hours to achieve success in the darkness. They played in a literal darkness, bar, little tiny bar. Yeah, they played harder than they worked. Wink, wink. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. Gigging that much is work. I don't care how much you talk about playing music is playing. That's working music.
It's work on the music. That's making
gosh.
Work how to play.
Especially Ringo. Poor Ringo, man. I see why his drum set was so small. I wouldn't have wanted to carry around a big drum set.
That's a fair reason, actually. Interesting. I never thought about that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I see these, I see these power metal
set up and tear down and all this stuff.
Yeah, I see these metal players, and they're setting up, and it takes like 30 minutes to set up their drum set because they've got like 80 different drums that they're playing on, and it's just like, I use every one of these. It's like, yeah, I believe you do, but man, you don't have to.
My son's into Metallica right now, right? Yeah. He's into metal a lot, and Metallica is one of the bands, right? And like he showed me this video where Lars, the drummer, Lars Ulrich, he was back there, and his cymbal stand wasn't quite tightened, and he was starting this song, and his cymbal went like kind of turned on him.
Oh, okay.
And so he stopped playing. He stood up. He motioned for the drum tech to come over and pointed at it and told him to fix it.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And the drum tech came over and fixed his cymbal for him.
Wow. That is so bizarre to me. Yep. Like that is so bizarre. People think weird. Yeah, I've noticed this quite a lot recently. People do not think the way I think. People do not have the first thoughts that I have. Like if I'm playing the drum set and that happens, I have one of two thoughts: keep playing and just let it do what it does, and just pretend it's not happening. And if that cymbal goes off and lands on the ground, fine, I'm not playing it for the rest of the song. Or two, fix it myself because I'm right there. For me to have the thought of like, the drum tech, this is your fault. You come over here, you fix this right now. Like that would never even cross my mind. Isn't like. Not because I obviously don't have one, but because like I don't think that way to like have other people do things for me. Like as soon as like that activity isn't within my ability to do it, I just do it. Generally, I don't ask other people to do things for me. So it's just really weird to, yeah. People think very differently from each other sometimes.
It's weird. You're absolutely right. And Riku, you're I think you're right. Sometimes there is some entitlement that comes with fame,
Yeah, perhaps.
Sometimes there's entitlement that comes with wealth. Sometimes there's entitlement that comes with, the version of success that the world glorifies as success, financial success. You look at, like people who think, oh, well, I'm untouchable. I'm a billionaire, so I can just do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. I can just whatever, who cares? Whatever I want, I can get away with it because I'm rich and it's not going to matter much and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, really? Well, that's one of the great reasons why I believe in a higher power that we're all going to meet when we die and we're going to get to be accountable for all those things. Right?
Super Neon Blue said, by the way, if I did that, it would be because I think they could fix it better than I could. and I want to put on a good show. And that was my first thought when you said it. My first thought was like, oh, because he didn't feel confident in fixing his own drum kit. And then I thought, that's impossible that he would have that thought, right? There's no way that he thinks he can't fix his drum set. He's a drummer. He does that all the time. He puts it together. He grew up in that environment of putting it together.
But he doesn't put it together anymore.
Right, but he doesn't do it anymore. So maybe it really is just
put it
like,
together.
You guys know how this thing works better than I do, so you can put it back together. I'm gonna
Last time I put a drum set together was back in 1972, and blah blah blah, and this and that. And the other thing,
yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, there's literally, legitimately a fair
hardware
chance
was
that
different back then.
Yeah, yeah. Body language and context really matters in this case. Absolutely. Yeah. I wonder what was going through his mind. Again, doesn't really matter what was going through his mind. My point was that it's so different that we come to different conclusions or whatever, different actions and reactions so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We have thoughts that other people wouldn't have about different things.
Well, and here's the thing. Just because someone appears to not struggle, don't think for a second that they don't have struggles. Because they do. You know what I'm talking about, Ryan?
I know what you're talking about.
Ryan knows what I'm talking about.
Everybody's got struggles.
Mm-hmm.
Even the ones that appear like they don't.
I don't care if you're Elon Musk. I don't care if you're Bill Gates. I don't care if you're somebody who we don't know their name, but there's some saint in the, some of the poorest regions of the world. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. We
all have a struggle. We all have some kind of struggle, whether it's health, whether it's relational, whether it's financial, whether it's, whatever. This life comes with challenges. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And I'll tell you, man, like, financial struggles are some of the easiest to cope with.
What'd you say? Financial
struggles. Now, they're hard. They're hard. But compared to relationship struggles, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the bliss. Oh, no.
Relationship struggles are the worst.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
They're the hardest. They're the hardest. Because they, dig into your soul.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of reasons for that, but I mean, one could point out that we're social creatures. Also, one could point out that we recognize the value inherent in a relationship and the people within, and that there's a lot of value there that when that's broken, there's a lot of pain. I think relational problems are probably the worst to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been through a lot of different types of struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I will say the hardest ones are with your relationship with yourself.
That's a good one.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm. Cheers. Clink clonk. I'm always struggling financially. Yeah. I'm sorry, J-Ho. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. I said, we all live a different life. And sometimes, there's a great number of us who go through this life where I think, we all have our personal struggles in life. We all have our lot in life to some degree. And we can escape that lot. That's still part of our lot, you could say. We could have a financial struggle for the first, several decades of our life and then escape it. Or rather, I guess it's not an escape. It's more of a, you figure it out, and you work it out, right? But anyways, there are a lot of people who struggle financially. I'd say that majority of people in all of history, especially, but even right now, are in a financial struggle. I think 99 probably, I would say, % of this whole human race since its dawn has been in a financial struggle. Even before finances existed, resources did, And so it's interesting. Not everybody has that lot, though. Not everybody has that particular problem, but we all have certain demons, so to speak. We all have certain things in our life that we go through and accomplish, and it sort of to some degree glorifies a greater good. One thing I love about this whole existence is that where there is pain and suffering, mercy can step in. Charity can step in. Love can step in. It's like if you didn't have the struggle in the first place, no one would have ever given you like $20 and said, "Hey, yeah, I see you're struggling. I don't have much either, but here's some gas money." That is a loving act, right? That is such a kind thing to do, especially if they're struggling too. They're just like, "Hey, I need to make sure you get home tonight, so here's $20 for your gas. Thanks for dropping me off," or whatever it is, right? And it's just like that engagement is real, and that's love, and that's beautiful. And so it's like, to some degree, I'm thankful that we all have this lot in life that isn't what we'd necessarily like. And the things we're struggling with the most are the things we hate the most, generally speaking. And I think it's designed that way, right? It's that way for a reason. Obviously, there for a reason, because that's what we're dealing with. So of course we hate it. But I think even there's something more deep on a deeper level. It's like we struggle with what we hate because that's where we need the most charity in our lives. That's where we need the most for other people to be able to come down and give us that extra bit of hope, that extra bit of love, and that creates a beautiful world. So as much as it is awful, I think it's a very beautiful thing.
Well, and it's interesting because that's one of the cures.
Yeah, that's true.
For when you are in some kind of a struggle, when you are in some kind of a pain, the one of the cures for you in your, like, because really the hardest part is how you feel inside about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially attachments,
right? Yeah. Well, when you're stressed and when you feel that internal boiling or whatever, right? That whole thing, like that's like the hardest part of the whole thing, because you're stuck and it's all in you and everything like that. And it's like, ugh. But one of the ways to relieve that and move forward with that is to assist somebody in that specific area.
Yeah.
This is why, like, you read a financial book. If you're having financial struggle, a lot of financial experts will say one of the first things you should do is give money away.
Yeah.
If you're having a financial struggle, one of the first things you should do, and it doesn't have to be much, but to sacrifice somewhat in that area where you're struggling, right? So if you're feeling a financial struggle, give some money away. It reduces the clutches that the struggle has on you, because you're just like, because in the struggle you're like, I need to grasp a hold of every dollar that I can, or every pound that I can, or euro, or whatever it is, right? Every bit of money, I need to hold on to it tightly, and it seems to just be slipping away, and I never have enough for the stuff I need, and blah 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 blah. And then one of the first things to do is to give some money to somebody less fortunate than you, because it removes the clutches that the money has on you. Right?
Yeah.
And it relaxes that. And it says, now, even if it's just like $1 or $5 or whatever, just give some money away. Because what it does is it changes your mentality about money itself. And it removes a lot of the stress, and it can help you think a lot more clearly when it comes to those financial decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it reminds me a lot of a principle. It's kind of interesting. It's like if you are striving for security, a lot of times you'll just get there and then fall back again. Like you'll never have security if your goal is security. Like, because every time you get there, you stay here and then you only can go down. Right? So you finally get to security and then you go down, and you finally get security again and you go back down, because you've set your limit to be security, and so you never have it. Most people who like It's like, I just want security. They live their whole lives almost without it. But people who are like, I don't care about security, they always feel like they're secure. And it's not like, oh, they were always secure, so therefore they don't care about it. It's more like they didn't have it in the beginning and they realized it wasn't important to them. And then all of a sudden they recognize, like, hey, that's not a breaking point for me. That's not a point that I'm trying to build up for. That just comes along the road, or it doesn't, but it doesn't matter either way. And it's a lot of times the same way with finances too, because yeah, that was a real struggle for a lot of people. And it's, if you can let go of that need to hold on to it and just be like, if it runs your life, it's almost like, it's not like you're worshiping it, but it's almost like it is. Because if it runs your life, if finances runs your every decision, it runs your whole life, then yeah, of course you're going to be feeling terrible a lot. But if you stop caring about money, it runs you free to do things that you wouldn't otherwise do. And you might find yourself being a lot more happy and even possibly more financially well off if you just kind of let it be a stepping stone rather than being the whole point of you doing anything.
I remember a quote from a movie once where it was like, he was like, yeah, I've lost everything in my life 2 or 3 times. It's a perfect place to start.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, Jay, have a great night. Yeah, we're about to close it down here, I'm sure. Only got about 10 minutes left on the stream, and definitely not going to do a topic from that amount of time. So, yeah. Hey, Jay Ho, love you, man. Thanks for hanging with us.
Love you too. Love you, buddy. Yeah, it's crazy because and it works in other areas too. Like if I'm feeling bad about what's going on in my life, if I go out and I like try and brighten somebody's day, I feel better about it. I feel better about my own life.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Perception is everything, right? It's going to be determine how you feel about everything. And if you're feeling like crap, like you're not going to want to do much. And that, yeah, sucks. It just sucks, of course.
Yeah.
It's like the main problem is that you think there's a problem.
Yep.
A lot of times.
Most of our lives are lived in our heads.
Yeah. Yeah.
In how we perceive the world around us. Stuff's happening all around us. And you know what's crazy? It's crazy because we look at where we're at now, and it's like, man, prices are going up on everything. Everything's getting more and more expensive. You know when this was all getting set up? When everybody was happy to get free money from the government during COVID.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Our perception then wasn't, oh my gosh, prices are going to go up and up and up. No, our perception then was, man, look at this great money I got.
Yeah, let's go spend it, and then all the prices go up.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was all getting set up. You know, that was one of the major causes of all this inflation was just like money out of nowhere, you know, like coming into the economy, blah, 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 blah. But we weren't thinking that at the time. And we're certainly not thinking, oh, look at all this free money. You know, no, because now we're dealing with but it's the same situation. It's just our perception is different. The situation was always there, you know, being created. Does that make sense? Or am I just like totally talking on my butt?
No, that makes a lot of sense. Absolutely.
But it's wild, you know, like, but the way we think about things, you know, generally tends to be everything. And, you know, like, so if you can take your situation and be like, man, so like, I can look at a situation that I'm in and be like, man, this is terrible. I need a New Year's resolution. And then I fail at my New Year's resolution and I'm like, oh, I'm a terrible person. That's my perception.
Right.
Or I could look at this and be like, you know what? I'm a pretty good person. There are things I could do better. I'm going to try harder.
Man, with that attitude, you're so much more likely for success.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Absolutely. And even if I fail, as long as I have that same attitude, that humility and that gratitude, like Ryan was talking about, and that just like, hey, here I am, I'm going to try, blah, 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 blah. When I fail at my resolution, notice how I said when.
Yeah, right. It's gonna happen.
I can look at it and be like, oh, what did I learn?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. If you try to take the value out of things instead of just sulking, right? Which we all do. So no shame there. But if you try to look at stuff and go, where was the value? You're always on that conquest. Suddenly everything about your scenario changes. Like you fail at something and you go, okay, sure, whatever. I failed, whatever. Okay, what did I learn? And it's like, okay, so I learned that when I do these kinds of workouts, this happens to my body. That's actually really helpful. I didn't notice that until I did that. I had to go through that experience. You're not even pointing out the fact that you failed anymore, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like, now I learned something about my body. That's pretty important. I can take that going forward now and be like, okay, let's address this here now. Now that I have a better, clearer picture of what's going on with how my body's working, the functions, maybe I can go to the doctor about this, or, maybe I have a thyroid problem or whatever. It doesn't matter, but you're learning, right? And so if you come in at the attitude of that, it's just like, it changes everything. It gets you right back into the motion of making things happen, rather than just always being like, yeah, just always feeling like you're never able to turn up with anything. Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Yep. Well, it just kind of there's great wisdom in that shirt that it was from England, I think. Keep calm and carry on.
Oh,
Was
yeah,
that
okay.
the Queen of England that said that at
Something
one point
like
in
that.
time or whatever? Yeah, keep calm and just carry on, right? Like just chillax. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's great wisdom in that.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times our reaction is what causes a greater problem.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of a buddy of mine when I was back in my rock party hard days, right? And like we were we were into psychedelics for a while, and like a buddy of mine, like we'd watch people like take these, certain different drugs, and they'd freak out. They'd totally like wig out, man. Like, because you'd see weird, they're hallucinogenic, and so you'd see all this
Mm-hmm.
weird stuff, and you'd have all this weird energy and stuff, like crazy stuff going on, and they'd freak out. And the drummer of the band I was in at the time, I was the guitar player. He would just like sit there and be like, yeah, he never had an issue. And he's like, yeah, I just have to just remind myself, this is because I ingested a chemical, and this is my body doing what it does when you ingest that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I mean,
Fair enough. I mean, it's quite
like,
realistic.
yeah, like just, hey, it's okay. Rather than freaking out, oh my gosh, it's like, okay, no, this is just what happens when you do this kind of thing,
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Boy, we took this topic and ran with it.
Yeah.
In all kinds of directions. Holy cow.
Yeah, well, no, I think you're going with that is your perception. If you recognize, like, I think that's a really interesting example, because it's true. It's like, what's the best thing you can do? And just like literally sit there and let it work itself out, because you know that you're on a drug that's going to work itself out of your body. And right now, a lot of the stuff you're seeing is not real. You can't tell what's real and what's not. So the best thing you can do is just sit tight and just chill.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever done that, but it makes sense. Like, logically speaking, I can see how that would be probably about the best thing you can do. And sometimes that's the reality of our situation. When something in life happens, the best thing to do is just kind of stay calm and address it. And not get too freaked out where you mess up more or you cause bad things to happen because you make rash decisions.
That's true. And I'm learning all about this in
Mm-hmm.
my book I'm reading right now. I think I showed this last week, didn't I?
Renew your anxious or rewire your anxious brain. I know you showed it to me. I don't know if that was to the stream. It might have been
Okay.
to the stream.
Yeah, this book is solid gold, I will say. This is the, you know, it's talking about how our brains work. It's great because it's like, okay, like the part that we're talking about that helps you to stay calm and think through things is your cortex. But when you panic,
Mm.
your cortex isn't going to help you because the amygdala has taken over. And so now, like, it's like you're in survival mode, you're in fight or flight mode, you're
Mm-hmm.
just, you know,
Yeah.
and so you have to, like, there are ways to help work through that. So then you can bring things back to your logical thinking part, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
hey, but
Panic
when you
attacks.
panic and
Crazy.
when you have an emotional response, like, I mean, there are ways to work yourself through that. And it's good to know the tools, and that's why I really like that book a lot, is because it's teaching, okay, this is what's happening when you have this type of anxiety. Your amygdala has taken over, and you need to speak the language of the amygdala in order to calm it down. You can't just say, oh, you shouldn't be worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
shouldn't be freaking out. Don't freak out. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. Claes also says, just take a deep breath, and yeah, that is
That's
definitely one
huge.
of the exercises that helps bring your amygdala back into conversation with your cortex. Yeah.
Yep. You take a deep breath and you do that multiple times.
Yeah. There's all sorts of different things. Some people have to like touch the world around them and recognize like, oh, these things are real. This part is reality.
Mm-hmm.
And or the weird snap your fingers thing. I don't know that one. That one's
Yeah, you use your
right.
left hand and your right hand, you right and left hand thing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's all sorts of different exercises, but it's all to like just bring things back in so you can think
Mm-hmm.
straight. Yeah. I'm I think I'm lucky enough to have had very few or maybe none at all panic attacks. At least I'm sure I've had some, but they've been minor or they've resolved
Mm-hmm.
themselves fairly quickly. But yeah, I'm blessed to not have the to have a big problem with that. I know a couple people who do, and that's scary.
That's
It's
a
scary.
struggle, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a struggle.
Yeah.
And when you don't know what's going on and nobody else around you knows what's going on, it can really freak everybody else out. And so then, like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out now. Yeah, awesome. We are too. We are 1 minute over. So I'm gonna head out now. I won't be here next Don't Worry Wednesday since I'll be in London. Whoa, that's awesome, Young Leos. What are you doing over there? With the time zone difference, it'll be 1 a.m. during the stream. Yeah, Happy New Year. See you all in 2024. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Hope that
Mm-hmm.
your whole year is filled with awesomeness, Myanglios. I hope that you have a wonderful time in London, and that your whole whoever's going with you, if it's your family or not, I hope everyone around you is also in great spirits and having great joy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll wish everybody a happy new year. I will not be here next Wednesday. I will be with my boys.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Mianglios, I'm with you. I won't be here either.
Oh man. Well, okay. I'll be here by myself, guys. If anybody wants to show
You won't
up,
be by yourself.
if anybody
You're
wants
going
to
to
show up, you're
have
free.
people with you. It's going to be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So with that stated, anyone who wants to be on the stream next time, feel free to DM me. And I'll make sure to send one out too. If you guys want to
Mm-hmm.
do one of those streams where you guys get involved, that'd be awesome. But yeah. Happy New Year's, everybody. So many blessings and love for you guys. You guys are awesome. I thank
You
you for
better
such
be
a great
back
Don't Worry
next
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's been an awesome episode. It's been awesome to be with you guys. It's great to have conversations. You should be back next Wednesday. Awesome. Oh, going to Chicago.
Wait,
Fun.
didn't you do that last year and say you were never going to do that again?
What?
Cats.
Oh. I thought you were talking to me. I thought I did something. I was like, did I do something?
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Marching band. Whoa, that's amazing. You're going to do the New Year's Day parade. Now, and your mom are coming on the trip too. Wow, that's awesome, Young Leos. Have such an awesome time. That's so cool. Way to go. That's really cool. Nice. Oh, that's a lot of fun. I've never been to London, so.
Me neither.
Yeah. Hope you have fun. Make sure you get some tea. I'm
sure it will be.
London is known for its great tea.
Over there. Is it better? In London?
Well, they're known for it. They're known for their tea and their coffees. So I would say at least try their
coffee too.
Yeah. That doesn't mean it's good, but they're known for it.
Oh.
I'm just being honest. That's as much as I can say. I haven't been there.
Not the accent.
Oh.
Hello. Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm not all that great at accents. I'm good at my own accent.
Oh wow, yeah, you really are. You're fantastic.
People say I talk like a youper though. Sometimes.
No, you don't. You don't. Well, sometimes you do, like when you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's about that.
No, that's Canadian.
It's halfway there, you know.
It is halfway there. Don't you know?
Don't you know? Yeah.
That's great.
All right.
I love the
awesome.
accent.
Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. I love hanging out with you guys. I'm gonna miss you next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss you, Joe. I'm gonna be excited to meet you in 2 weeks from now. It'll be great.
Yeah, you are.
That's right. All right. See you guys.
And I'm gonna be excited too.
Love you all. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and a fantastic new year. And until then, do it up. Do it up straight style. Make it work.
Straight style. Do it up. Do it up.
Yo.
Word.
Get out of here, punks. All right. Bye-bye. Peace.
Bye. I love you guys.
Oh my goodness. We're all right.
We're still on here?
Yeah, we are. All right, we're leaving.